cumulative frequency graphs or interpreting cumulative frequency graphs. If you haven't seen how to draw a cumulative frequency graph or you want a bit more basic information about it, watch the video Drawing Cumulative Frequency Graphs now. Okay, so let's have a look at a cumulative frequency graph. So here's one I've drawn earlier, and it shows weight loss along the x-axis and cumulative frequency along the vertical axis. And we're going to look at three things today. We're going to look at how to find the median first of all, and then how to find the lower quartile and the upper quartile. Now the first thing to highlight is that because this is for group data, here's the table that I used initially to draw this graph. As this is group data, any calculation we do for the median, the lower quartile and upper quartile for group data will be an approximation, it'll be an estimate. Okay, so we're going to use this graph to work out these three approximations for these three things. So let's first of all have a look at the median. So first of all, you're going to need to find out how many people there were all together. So the highest point is here, and it goes across to 80. That means there's 80 people that have taken part all together in this weight loss program. So there's 80 people all together. Let's first of all work out the median. So for the median, you're going to find out the middle value. As it's an approximation, you're going to do 80 divided by 2, which equals 40. So we're looking for the 40th person. So the 40th person will be here. So you're going to get your ruler, and you're going to go from 40 across and then down. And I found that the median here is this point here, which is 10, 15, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the median is 14. Now let's find the lower quartile. Because there's 80 people, we want to find the lower quartile. The lower quartile is a quarter of the way in through to the values of where the 25th percentile is. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 80 divided by 4. 80 divided by 4, a quarter of the way in, is 20. So we're looking for the 20th person. So again, you get your ruler, you go across to the line, and you go down. And we find that the lower quartile is here, which is 9. The lower quartile, so the lower quartile is 9. Now we're going to find the upper quartile. So that's 3/4 of the way through the number, or 3/4 of the way through the data, or 75% of the way through the data. There's 80 people, so we're going to find 3/4 of 80. So divided by 4 is 20, and times it by 3 is 60. So we're going to go for 80 divided by 4 times by 3, which equals 60. So we're looking for the 60th person. So you get your ruler, you go to the graph, you go to where the 60th person is, and you go across to the curve and down. When you do that, in this particular case, you find that the upper quartile is 20. So that means that the middle age, or the median, is 14, the lower quartile is 9, and the upper quartile is 20. If they asked you to find a thing called the interquartile range, IQR, interquartile range, you subtract the lower quartile from the upper quartile. So you would do 9 taken away from 20, or 20 subtract 9. So 20 subtract 9 equals 11. So the interquartile range equals 11. That means that the distance between a quarter of the way into the data and 3/4 of the way into the data is 11. It's a measure of spread, and the advantage of it over the range is it removes any outliers, because you're only looking at the distance between the 25th percentile and the 75th percentile. In this video we're going to look at how to draw a stem and leaf diagram. Actually, we're going to look at 3 stem and leaf diagrams. So first of all, what is a stem and leaf diagram? A stem and leaf diagram is just a useful way to represent information or represent data. So here's our first question. We've been asked to draw a stem and leaf diagram, an ordered stem and leaf diagram for this information. 18, 21, 22, 14, 32, 15, 28, 25, 37, 41, 28 and 30. So whenever you're drawing a stem and leaf diagram for a set of information like this, the first thing you would do is you would draw a vertical line like so. And we're going to start off by drawing an unordered stem and leaf diagram first of all, and then we'll put it in order. So we've got our stem, and then we're going to put our leaves
to the right of the stem. So the stem will be the tens, and let's look at our numbers. We have got our smallest number, which is 14, and our largest number, which is 41. So our tens will be the tens, 20s, 30s and 40s, and then we're going to put on our leaves after those. Okay, so they're going to go to the right here. So let's do it unordered to begin with. So we've got 18, so we'll put an 8 here, so that's 18. We've got 21, so let's just cross off our 18. And if you're crossing this off in a test or for homework, do it in pencil just so that you can rub it out and see the number again if need be. So then 21, so we're going to put a 1 in the 20s row. We've got 22, so we'll just put a 2 there, and that'll be 21 and then 22. We've got, make sure we're crossing off, 14, so we're going to put a 4 in the 10s column, or 10s row. 32, so we're going to put a 2 in the 30s row. 15, we'll put a 5 there in the 10s row. 28, so that's an 8 in the 20s row. 25, that's a 5 in the 20s row. 37, so that's a 7 in the 30s row. 41, that's a 1 in the 40s row. 28, so that's an 8 in the 20s row. And 30, that's going to be a 0 in the 30s row. So we've got all our numbers, let's just check them. So let's count our leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So let's check our numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we've got all of them. But that's an unordered stem and leaf diagram. We were asked to draw an ordered one. So what we're now going to do is we're now going to put them in order. So let's draw our line again, like so. We'll put our stems in, so our 10s, 20s, 30s and 40s. And now we're going to put our leaves in order in each row. So we had 18, 14 and 15. So we're going to put the 4 first, then the 5 and then the 8. Now going on to our 20s row, we're going to put our 1, then the 2, then the 5 and then our 2 8s. Our 30s row, we're going to put our 0 for 30 and then 32 and then the 7 for 37 and then 41. So we're almost done. We've got our ordered stem and leaf. Now we just need a key. So we're going to write a key, and a key just tells the person who's looking at it how to read it. We know already that this is 14, 15, 18, 21, 22, 25, 28, 28, 30, 32, 37 and 41 because we've obviously drawn the stem and leaf diagram. But somebody who's looking at this might not necessarily know that our stem was representing the tens, so we need to tell them that. So what we're going to do is I tend to pick the first number, which is 14, and I write 1 and then the line and then 4 means 14. So then they know, okay, 1 line 4 means 14, so then they can figure out, well, that's going to be 15, that's going to be 18 and so on. So that is our ordered stem and leaf diagram. Right, so let's have a look at another one. This time I've chosen larger numbers. I've chosen numbers in the hundreds. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a stem like so, and we're going to do our unordered stem and leaf diagram for this, and then our ordered one afterwards over here. Now, with our stem, what we're going to do is we're going to put our hundreds and our tens. So let's look at our numbers. The smallest number is 138, and our largest number is 165. Our numbers are 155, 160, 148, 153, 165, the largest one, 157, 138, 145 and 140. So we're going from the 130s to the 160s. So we're going to put down 130, 140, 150 and 160. And so we'll do that we'll do our unordered one, and then we'll do our ordered one over here. So our unordered one to begin with, so we've got 155, so we'll put a 5 in the 150s row. We'll put a 0 in the 160s row for 160, an 8 in the 140s row for 148, a 3 in the 150s row for 153, a 5 in the 160s row for 165, a 7 in the 150s row for 157, an 8 in the 130s row for 138, a 5 in the 140s row for 145, and a 0 in the 140s row for 140. So let's just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we had 9 numbers. We've got 9 leaves. So let's check we had 9 numbers to begin with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got them all. Now we need to put them in order. Well, that's quite nice for the 130. So there's just the 8. So 138. A 140. So we've got 140, then 145 and 148. Put them in order. The 150s, we've got 153, 155 and 157. and the 160s are already in order, so that's it. Now again, we need a key, so the person looking at will know, how to read the stem and leaf diagram. So let's choose our first number. So we've got 1, 3, line 8 means 138, and that's it.